Hello artists, it's time for Art with Mrs. Klein. This week we've been learning about the artist Gustave Klimt. Now he was working at the same time as Monet. Remember Monet? But he was in Austria and Monet was in France. Now when Gustave Klimt started painting, when he got out of art school, he was painting murals with his brother. And these are some of the paintings he did back then. Those portraits that are on the walls. Pretty cool. They're very realistic. So that's how he was painting. But you know what? He wasn't very happy with that type of painting. He wanted to do something that was new and different, something that people hadn't seen before, something that he was excited about. So he and a bunch of his friends, you can see he had a lot of friends, also wanted to do something different. So Gustave Klimt is actually this person right here sitting in the back. And that funny shirt he's wearing is an artist's smock. That's what artists used to wear. So this new and different way of painting had to do with adding shapes and designs and gold paint into his pictures. What I really love about this painting is they have paintings that he did of people, some portraits, but then they also have a photograph of the person that he was painting, so you can kind of see what they look like. So you can see that Klimt did a really good job of capturing the likeness of his subject. But he also added a lot of these inventive designs. And the other thing I love about this book is that they're close-ups of those designs. So here's a close-up of the woman's dress. And you can see swirls and polka dots, curved lines, geometric shapes. We have squares and circles, a lot of the things that we've learned about in art class. So in my lesson plan, I had showed you a picture that's called The Tree of Life. And that is a painting that he did. But did you know that that painting was actually a study for a large mural, mosaic mural that he was doing for somebody for their home? And a mosaic mural just means you take little pieces of glass or stones and you put them together like tiny little tiles. So let me show you a picture of that. So this is the person's home. Let me get that bookmark out of there. And you can see it's their dining room, and on the either side, there are two large trees of life. I'll show you another picture. So this one folds out, and you can see it in greater detail. And then in this book, there are even closer details, and you can see all the little tiles, little gold tiles and green glass tiles, and all of those designs, the swirls, all the little shapes. So interesting, fascinating. I would love to see that in real life if I ever have a chance. But for our project today, we are going to be inspired by Gustave Klimt's Tree of Life. And we're also going to work on some designs and swirls and just have a lot of fun, just like Gustave Klimt wanted to have fun with his art. So I hope you can come meet me at the demonstration table so you can start making your art. So we will be making a project based on Gustave Klimt's Tree of Life painting. So here is a reproduction of his painting, and you can see there's the trunk of the tree, and then there's lots of branches that come and swirl off of it in a very imaginative way. And then there's lots of little designs in there. I think those almost look like flowers. But there's circles and triangles and all sorts of different fun designs in there. So for your project, you are going to be making a tree of life, and I have a couple different ways you can do it. The first way, if you don't want to be challenged too much, you could print out the template that I have inside the lesson. And it's going to look something like this. And then you can just add, as I started adding already, different shapes and designs onto it. And then you can add color, and then I'm also going to show you at the end of this a way to use mixed media to make a really cool project. So the first thing you can do is print out the template and add your own designs and color it. But I'm going to show you how to draw a tree of life, and then you can decorate it just like you would with the template. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at Gustave Klimt's Tree of Life, and I see that the trunk is kind of like a triangle. It starts wide here and then it gets small up there. And then there's all these branches that come off of it. So on my picture, oh, there's also a ground there. So on my picture, I'm gonna draw the ground and then I'm gonna draw a very light triangle that's gonna be the trunk. So I'm gonna draw the ground and I'm gonna start with a pencil and then I'm gonna use a Sharpie marker. So there's the ground, and now my triangle, I don't want it to go all the way to the top because then there won't be space for all the branches. So I'm gonna stop right about there. I'm gonna put a little dot so I know where to stop. And I'm gonna draw a very kind of skinny triangle. Now once I've done that, I can start adding some branches. So I'm gonna imagine it before I do it. I'm gonna start with maybe one big branch, kind of comes down, then swirls and swirls around. Okay, and that would be a really skinny branch, so I need to add another line to give it thickness. So there's one. Now I'm gonna do one on the other side, and it doesn't have to be exactly symmetrical, and it can look however you want it to look. Then I'm gonna put a few more big branches down here. And they just kind of come up off of the trunk and swirl around. Ooh, there we go. Now I can start adding some smaller swirly branches coming off of the big ones, like that. And once I do all that, I can use my marker and I can go over all of them. So I'm probably gonna add a few more swirls with my marker and lots of little branches. And go all the way around. And when I finish this whole thing, then I can start adding some designs in here. I could add some triangles. I could add some rectangles. I could add circles with little circles inside. There are all sorts of things that I can add. Use your imagination and make whatever kinds of designs you would like. And when you're done with all of your designs, then it will be time to add color. So you could use markers, or you could use watercolors or colored pencils. So I have watercolors, and that's what I'm going to add to mine. So let me first add all the shapes that I want to add in there. Okay, now I have my watercolors here, and I'm going to paint in my Tree of Life. I'm going to paint mine yellow because a yellowish kind of orange, because I want it to kind of look like gold, like Klimt's. So I'm going to paint all of that in, and then I'm also going to paint in my designs. But like I said, you can use marker, you can use colored pencils, whatever you have, whatever you want to make. And when I'm done with all of this watercolor, I'm going to show you a mixed media portion that you can do after you have added color to yours. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. There were some areas like right here where the paint started bleeding down, but you know what? I kind of like the cool effect that it made, so I'm not too worried about it. So when I was thinking of this project, I was thinking about how Klimt had made the painting for the mosaic that he was going to make on someone's wall. And a mosaic is made with tiny little pieces of tiles. Or glass. So I thought, well, what could I do to make it look like I had tiles or glass or mosaic on there? And I thought, well, I don't have tiles, but I do have some magazines. So I thought, what if I just cut some different colored strips from magazines, and then I could cut them into little pieces, and I could glue those on there, and those could look like little pieces of mosaic. And then I looked around my house some more, and I found that I had some little tiny jewels that were left over from some kind of project. So I thought, oh, I could put those on there. I just had a couple of them. There's another one. Maybe I'll put that one there. And then I thought about it some more, and I remember that Gustave Klimt also used real gold leaf or silver leaf on his pictures. And I thought to myself, what do I have around my house? I don't have gold leaf, but I do have aluminum foil. So I could take some of this aluminum foil, and I could cut some of this up, and I could glue that down just to give it kind of like a little bit of a metallic look, like a Gustave Klimt piece of artwork. So you can look around your house and see what you have, what you could add to your project. I would love to see what creative ideas you come up with. So please, when you finish your project, send me a picture so I can see what you've made. I hope you have a really good day and hope you enjoy this project, and I will see you next time.